How are you, my people of the Rokani Media Football? Now, I brought you a story late in the night about how City was leading the race for Antoine Semenyo, but other sources linking Antoine Semenyo to Arsenal have not gone ahead to stop. Although it came in through from Fabrizio Romano, a tier 1 journalist, I told you that from the summer of 2024, the transfer news are like sources went ahead to take what we call a paradigm shift. And as we speak right now, very many people can come up and obviously let us know about the transfers. And you've seen it in the recently concluded summer transfer window of 2025 when people, as in people, all third, fourth tier journalists coming up with stories that you are really very accurate. You know, if you followed up on the story of Victor Gyökeres, you know to it that sources from Portugal, that tier 4, tier 5, tier 3 came up and obviously gave us news that we all hugely never knew about. And you saw to it that even other tier 1 journalists ended up turning into what we call tap-in merchants. You understand? So we value every source. That's why we tell you we will react to news that has gone ahead to be put out, and that's the reason as to why each and every story I bring up here, I refer you to the source, because I don't want to come up here and really put out a story and you guys are like, those are cooked stories by Rokani. You understand? So guys, here we are in here to bring you the story of Antoine Semenyo in there. We also have a little bit of Estevão and Liam Delap in the news, and we also have the Real Madrid right back Carvajal. What is happening on his stay at Real Madrid? Let's see close to 200 likes much on this video, and don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. How do we subscribe? Go into the lower left bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. And tapping the notification bell not only applies to those that are really subscribing, it also applies to those that have already subscribed and they've not gone ahead to tap it. So please do the needful and really tap the notification bell. Right? Now, let's obviously go eyes. This is Grammy Bailey. He has told us the following, that Arsenal have made an initial inquiry over the potential signing of Antoine Semenyo. Team talk can reveal. At this point, Arsenal's approach has not advanced, though it's understood there is good chance Semenyo could pick Arsenal over other suitors. Now, it might turn out to be really confusing according to what stories have been coming in. You understand? Now, they are telling us that Arsenal made an initial inquiry over the potential signing of Antoine Semenyo. Now, it is confirmed that Arsenal were one of the teams that are really interested in Antoine Semenyo. You understand? And indeed, they were interested in really getting in the forward at the club of Arsenal, you know? And they're telling us that their approach has not advanced. You get? And the player was most interested in playing for a club known as Arsenal. And I've always gone ahead to bring you his quotes. He's also a supporter of Arsenal. You get? So, Arsenal made an approach, but that approach hasn't gone ahead to advance ever since they went ahead to make it. Now, when they say it has not gone ahead to advance, what do they mean? It means that Arsenal has not gone ahead to obviously put out a very huge fight to see to it that they get in this player. You understand? They haven't gone ahead to put out a fight like getting back to obviously get this player. But this reminds me of a situation of a player known as Ebelechi Eze. It reached an extent when we all knew to it that the player was going to Tottenham Hotspur. You know, personal terms had gone ahead to be agreed. First bid put in, rejected by Spursy. Second bid was put in and rejected by Spursy. And, rejected by Crystal Palace, you know. And from nowhere, when Kai Havertz went ahead to get injured, Arsenal swept in and went into bringing in a player known as Ebelechi Eze. You understand? So this deal is not yet done, not until we see to it that Antoine Semenyo has gone ahead to hold a shirt of a particular club, of either Arsenal, Man United, Man City, and Liverpool. Because for Chelsea, it's confirmed that they're out and they're not going to come up here to really put in a fight to sign the player. So that is all about Antoine Semenyo, and Arsenal are really interested, but they've never gone ahead to see themselves advance. And the other factor that I think Arsenal really considered to do the AS approach was when they really had close to, were they 6 forwards injured? You remember that time when Arsenal had Gyökeres injured, Noni Madueke injured, Gabriel Jesus injured, Kai Havertz injured, Martinelli injured, Odegaard injured. Who else was injured? Was it even Leandro Trossard? They had close to 7 forwards injured. And because it's said that the wise see ahead, Arsenal are wise, and they're like, if we clock December, when we are really having a vacuum of forwards, one of the players to bring in through should be Antoine Semenyo. And I've always gone ahead to give you my reasons as to why he was one of the preferred targets by the club of Arsenal. One, he is a multi-dimensional player. He can play as a right forward, he can play as a left forward, he can also play as a false number 9. And that's why I think they are like making that approach. Now, what went ahead to stop that approach? Now, it's because now Arsenal's forwards are almost back. Saka is back, Noni Madueke is back, Trossard is back, Martinelli is back, Victor Gyökeres is back, Gabriel Jesus is back, Martin Odegaard is back. 7 of those are back. Now, that's what ends the interest of this player. And the only way they can obviously get him in is when they're like, we are letting someone out and we are letting him in. Something that I think is really going to be hard. But it depends on what you think about that specific kind of player profile. If he's really one of those that you feel like you need to bring in through, then it will make absolute sense to see to it that all goes on well as planned. So that's all about a club known as Arsenal and Antoine Semenyo, but the player is willing to go to Arsenal, provided Arsenal puts in a shift. But right now, because Arsenal's approach is out or is off, that's why you hear stories that he's going to Man City. Man City are like pushing to get the player. Liverpool are also pushing to get the player. Man United are also insisting. Arsenal is waiting in there, and they are really observing. And the other factor that I think went ahead to put Arsenal into this race was maybe to complicate the race and see to it that they make it hard for their opponents. Because we all understand, if Man City can add Antoine Semeno to their squad, they can turn into a monster. You get? Liverpool the same. And for Liverpool, it's really very calling for them to obviously get in Antoine Semenyo, because they've gone ahead to lose out on Alexander Isak, and he underwent a surgery, and we don't know for how long he's going to be out, meaning that they will need a versatile forward. And who ticks also the boxes? It's Antoine Semenyo, the man, the Ghanaian. And the beauty of him is that his team never went ahead to qualify for the African Cup of Nations. That makes it easy for him to go to any club. That's why he's the hottest asset right now, most in form, and his price is now the new normal price. £65 million is the average price for a good player. And they know to it that if they don't get that player in January by triggering his release clause, because it expires then, I think in the summer, it's really going to be hard for any team to sign Antoine Semenyo. Someone will need to break the bank to obviously see to it that they get in this player. You understand? You get? So, that is it. All about Antoine Semenyo to Arsenal transfer not advancing. And we are waiting to see at what point will they come up and obviously say the player is a here we go to either Man City or Liverpool or Manchester United. Those 3 clubs are the ones that are really highly on the list to sign the player. And Arsenal has to do a miracle, to see to it that they really get this player. But what the advantage they have is that the player has always gone ahead to dream play for Arsenal. If they really sweep in, I tell you, they can take the player. We leave Antoine Semenyo at that. And let's obviously get to Real Madrid from London. And we are going to Real Madrid. And it's Carvajal who is the player in the queue to talk about, as El Nacional have told us that the contract of Real Madrid right back Dani Carvajal, which expires on June 30th, will not be extended. Xabi Alonso is facing a complete overhaul of their defense in the summer, with David Alaba almost certain to leave, and Antonio Rudiger's future is up in the air. Now, let's first discuss Dani Carvajal. For Dan Carvajal, all I want to let you know is simple. He is a very good player. And we can all admit that he's one of those seasons consistent right backs that you'll ever see in world football. You get? At the prime of his career, injuries were not things that obviously went ahead, obviously affect him. You understand? And he really put in a very beautiful shift altogether. And I tell you what, the lad is that special. At a certain point X, he was rated as one of the best right backs in the world because of his being able to do the defensive and offensive disciplines well. That is Dani Carvajal. And if you've been following up on him, he's that kind of player that has gone ahead to embroid himself into a very adaptive player. You know, if you know the systems that he has gone ahead to pass through at Real Madrid, it's really huge, and he has won very many trophies with Real Madrid, and he's really doing the needful right now. He has put out a shift that no one really doubts. I really love what he has gone ahead to put out as a player, but I think time has gone ahead to come to see to it that he really paves way for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it's him getting out that Real Madrid will look out for another player. And for the side of Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso is like, I want to really go ahead and change my defense. That's why he went ahead and brought in Housen from Bournemouth for £50 million. And good enough, they really had a Marcus, Alonso? Is it Asensio from the academy, and now those two can really form a very good partnership. And the others that I really want to be sold is Rudiger. I think Rudiger would have gone ahead to stay. He has really done a very huge part. You can't really leave that central defense without a senior player. If David Alaba is leaving, Carvajal leaving, which other senior player? I don't think that Militao has gone ahead to attain that name, all those attributes of being a senior into that central defense, But we wait and see what will happen in the summer, because all the cards are there for Alonso to play, though his job is really in jeopardy. But we wait and see, as he really targets to look out for someone else. And remember, they're looking at very many other right backs that can come in through. Diego Dallo, one of those that they've obviously gone ahead to scout for the previous 3 seasons, and they want to obviously bring him at Real Madrid. There is Pedro Porro, who plays as the right back for the side of Tottenham Hotspur. So they're really working tooth and nail to obviously get in a very, very good player. You get? So that is the side of Real Madrid for you, and they're really working tooth and nail to get in players that can obviously feature in that particular position, as if you're really letting out 3 defenders, that means you're going to bring in 3. You get? For Alaba, he has already gone ahead to be phased out, and I think he's like, I'm not going. I'll run my contract down because I'm here earning a very huge fee. And by the way, he's going to be earning or benefiting twice. How? He's earning a lot of money from Real Madrid, and when he leaves as a free agent, he will go to a club and they'll offer him a lot of money. And I think he might come to the Premier League, I might see a team like Man City going in for him, or a team like Arsenal. I tell you, I have that thought, or Liverpool, because He's a very good player, versatile, and when you're Liverpool, when you're really looking out for defenders, if Alaba comes in through, he will be a very good addition. He can also play in the midfield, meaning that he's one of those players that I think teams can obviously look out for. And teams like Manchester United right now, I think they could even apply for a loan of him from the side of Real Madrid because he can play across that back line. He can play in the midfield. He can also play as a left wing back. And I think he can really play well into that system of Manchester United. And if they can get him as a free agent in the summer, better. But my mind tells me the lad is going to come to the Premier League. That is it. I don't see him go anywhere, as I know Premier League teams will be there willing to give him all the money that he really wants. That is it. Now let's go to Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca has gone ahead and obviously told us that Estevão and Liam Delap are both back available for Chelsea's next game. And what is Chelsea's next game? Against Aston Villa. Now, let no one lie to you. The most informed team in the Premier League is Aston Villa. That is it. The most informed team in the Premier League is Aston Villa. And that's the fact. So, if you know how Aston Villa has been playing, and you are Chelsea going to them without your full armory, you obviously had to doubt. But with Carl Palmer picking up form, you are having Estevão back, Liam Delap back. It's really going to be a very good game to watch. And tomorrow, guys, I think it's going to be 15-30 hours. If at all I'm not mistaken, make it a point that you obviously watch that game. It's really going to be very enticing. You understand? At what time is this game going to be played? Tomorrow, it's 20-30 hours. That's when Chelsea is going to be hosting Aston Villa. Big game to watch. Big game to watch. And it's really going to be very interesting because Villa is doing all what it's doing. The form they are into, Chelsea will need all its weapons there. The return of Estevão is really very important for the side of Chelsea. Why? The creative force is obviously going to improve. And for this particular time, you're going to see Estevão being played in his favorite position. And what is his favorite position? It's what we call the right attacking side of the midfield, as the manager used to play him as a central attacking midfielder when Carl Palmer was injured. But because Carl Palmer is back in his number 10 position, obviously Estevão is obviously going to be played as a right attacking midfielder, and that's where he's really deadly. Now, when you're having a player like Carl Palmer in the midfield, obviously you'll understand that a lot of spaces will obviously be created for this lad, as Carl Palmer is a master of playing in small pockets of space, meaning that he can act well when he's in a forest of legs, and he can see to it that he really releases that ball early enough for the player, as his technical intelligence is really in the same line with that of Estevão. And you've obviously gone ahead to see players of the same football intelligence, the way they obviously man up in games. And that's what I'm obviously going to be waiting to see. Now, with João Pedro or Liam Delap leading the line, they'll obviously have huge service because Estevão is key in what he does, and even Carl Palmer will do the needful. With Alejandro Garnacho playing off the left, all Pedro Neto, I tell you, Aston Villa will this time have to prove to us that they are worth what they are, or they are what they think they are in a game like this. If they survive Chelsea, most especially if they come and beat Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge, it's really going to be a very huge statement made by them that they're into the title race. Because as we speak right now, if you're talking about Aston Villa, it's a team that has gone ahead to put out a shift. They are third with 36 points. They are just 3 points off Arsenal. You understand? And they've been winning games. I think they've won, the past 9-10 games. They've been winning and they haven't gone ahead to lose. So Chelsea is having 29 points, meaning that if at all they beat them, they'll go to 32 points. And they know to it that a lot is really happening. And Aston Villa goes into this game knowing that after playing Chelsea, they are going to be in London again on Tuesday. that is Villa for you. So they have to put in a very huge shift in there. So guys, your thoughts on Semenyo to Arsenal transfer not advancing are welcome in the comment section below. Carvajal, no contract. Is it a plus for Real Madrid or a wise move or not? Alaba, Rudiger, also being forced out of Madrid, is it a wise move? And lastly, what do you think about Estevão and Liam Delap return? Will it help them when it comes to stopping a side known as Aston Villa? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David is my name. Happy Boxing Day.